Imagine this, making $5,000 in just 30 days. It sounds impossible, maybe even ridiculous, but I'm here to tell you this isn't theory. It's not a get-rich-quick scam. This is a real transformation built not on luck, but on clarity, discipline, and a series of small repeatable steps that completely reshaped my relationship with money. And here's the twist. What happened to me can happen to you. Think with me for a second. What would it mean for you to open your bank account and see that balance? $5,000, sitting there, ready to use, legit, untouchable? Would it give you comfort? A sense of power? Or maybe just a little hope that things don't have to be the way they've always been? I know exactly how it feels because I was where you probably are now. Trapped. Caught in a cycle where the money you work so hard for disappears like smoke. The future seemed like a distant mirage, something other people could see, but I couldn't reach. It was in that darkness that I finally stumbled upon the light. The first lesson I learned was simple but brutal. Most people don't even know where their money goes. It's not the big expenses that kill you, it's the small, silent leaks in your wallet. The daily coffee that seems like no big deal, the streaming subscriptions you forgot you had, the food delivery when you already had groceries at home. One by one, these small expenses add up until you realize a big chunk of your budget has vanished. I realized this when I forced myself to track every single thing I spent. And when I say everything, I mean every penny. From that $3 coffee to the $15 monthly subscription I hadn't opened in months to those impulsive online buys late at night. At first, it was uncomfortable, almost embarrassing, because it made me face how careless I'd been. But this simple habit was my first step toward control. It was like turning on the lights in a dark room. Suddenly, I could see where my money was leaking from. And only then could I start plugging those leaks. Have you ever felt that your money simply disappears from your hands, and you don't even know why? As soon as I understood where my money was going, I did something most people never do. I gave every dollar a function. And one of the most important functions was investing. Now, don't roll your eyes. I'm not talking about risky plays or chasing the latest trend. No crypto hype, no lottery tickets. I started small, stable stocks, reliable funds, assets that grew slowly but steadily. I treated each weekly investment like planting a seed. At first, it didn't seem like a big deal. But seeds don't explode overnight. They grow quietly underground until one day you see sprouts. And then the sprouts become branches. And eventually, fruit. That's how wealth works. Not fast, not luck, but patience and consistency. Think about it. Are you chasing quick wins, or are you planting seeds? But let me be honest with you. At first, I was terrified. I'd open my account and see the market go up one day and crash the next. I'd read alarming headlines telling me the economy was doomed and wonder, am I doing the right thing? Should I get out now before I lose everything? This fear almost paralyzed me. But here's the secret I discovered. Successful investors aren't the ones who can predict the market. They're the ones who can control themselves. It's not about genius. It's about discipline. It's about sticking to the plan when everyone else panics. It's about holding the line when the world screams for you to quit. So I kept going. Even when it hurt. Even when fear whispered that I was crazy. And slowly, week after week, I began to see results. How about you? Do you have the patience to hold on when everything around you says to give up? At first, the gains were minimal. A few dollars here, a small bump there. Honestly, it didn't feel like progress. But then something clicked. Over time, those small wins began to accumulate. Drops turned into streams. Streams turned into a flow. The growth wasn't explosive. It was steady, reliable, undeniable. That's when I understood the truth. Financial freedom isn't built in a single leap. It's built step by step. And every step counts. So let me ask you, what's your biggest struggle right now when it comes to building financial habits? Here's a trick that saved me. I automated everything. I set up my accounts so that a portion of my income was automatically invested the moment it arrived. No thinking, no hesitation, no I'll do it later. It just happened. And you know what? That small act removed the emotional burden. I never had to fight with myself about spending or investing. It was already decided for me. Automation turned financial growth from a constant battle into a silent habit. Have you ever thought about automating your finances so you don't have to rely on willpower? But money isn't just numbers on a screen. It's emotional. Every part of this journey carried weight: fear, hope, pride. And with every gain, no matter how small, I realized I wasn't just building wealth. I was building resilience. It wasn't just about money. It was about proving to myself that I could change. That I wasn't doomed to repeat the same mistakes forever. That I had the strength to take control. Do you realize how much your emotions control your financial decisions? The market isn't flat or smooth. There were drops. There were moments when everything inside of me wanted to scream and quit. But I learned that those storms weren't the end, they were the test. Resisting that pressure, staying calm when the world panicked, wasn't easy. But it was necessary. How do you handle financial losses? Do you panic? Or do you move forward? Diversification became another pillar. Imagine putting all your money into one thing and watching it plummet overnight. That's how people get ruined. But when you spread your assets, stocks, funds, savings, maybe even a side job, you build a shield. One loss doesn't destroy you. You're protected. So ask yourself, are you investing in a balanced way, or betting everything on a single shot? Staying motivated without goals is almost impossible. That's why I set mine, not just money goals, but discipline goals. To keep consistency. To track progress. To resist temptation. Because money without purpose feels empty. But money tied to goals becomes powerful. What is your short-term financial goal? And your long-term one? I didn't do it alone. I used tools. Apps to track expenses. Dashboards to show investments. Reminders to keep me accountable. Technology made the invisible visible, and gave me control back. What financial tools do you use, or should you use, to organize yourself? And here's something you need to hear. I didn't wait until I had all the answers. If I had waited, I'd still be broke. Perfection is the biggest trap. Action is the antidote. So I acted. And because I acted, I learned. Because I learned, I grew. What are you waiting for before you act? Not everyone believed in me. Actually, most didn't. Friends said it wouldn't work. Family said it was too risky. People laughed. But the world will always doubt you, until you prove them wrong. And when you do, they'll call you lucky. Have you ever had to prove yourself against those who didn't believe? Another hidden truth is that financial growth isn't just about you. It's about community. Sharing ideas, learning from others, exchanging experiences. That's how you multiply knowledge. Do you have someone to talk to about money? And here's what surprised me most. The money wasn't the best part. The real prize was peace, confidence, hope. The feeling that I was no longer a prisoner of my bank account. Because financial freedom isn't just numbers. It's about living life on your terms. So tell me, what do you want to feel when you finally have financial security? Let me be clear, this isn't a magic trick. It's not easy. It's not instant. It's a method, simple but powerful, for those ready to practice and persist. The question is, are you ready to commit? Flexibility is also essential. The market changes. Life changes. If you're rigid, you break. But if you adapt, you survive. How do you react when life throws you something unexpected? Don't forget the basics: an emergency fund, debt control, and constant education. Without these, no strategy is sustainable. Do you have your emergency savings in hand? This works no matter your budget. You don't need thousands to start, you need courage. Even a few dollars, invested consistently, can change your future. So, what's your first step? Looking back now, those $5,000 were symbolic. They weren't just money. They were proof. Proof that I could take control. Proof that freedom wasn't a dream. Proof that I had begun walking a path that would take me to a place I once thought impossible. And you? Are you ready to write your own story? Here's what I want you to do. Share your journey in the comments. Say where you are now and where you want to go. And if you're serious, type "I'm ready." That's your statement that you're done waiting. And if you're ready to truly take action, subscribe. Not for entertainment. Not for theory. But because you're committed to changing your life. This is your chance. Don't let it slip away. We're in this together.